Now, 800 CHAB presents Ask the Expert. Here's Rob Carney.
With Greg Marcyniuk, Heritage Insurance, downtown Moose Jaw. Greg, it's that time of year. We're out and about. We're playing hard out there. It used to be, when we were kids, if somebody had a swing set in the neighborhood, that's where you went. Now everybody's got a swing set in the neighborhood, or so it seems. Lots of people making their own playgrounds in their own backyards, and we want to talk about that today.
That's correct, Rob, because there are liabilities with these playgrounds, and if you haven't constructed them right, you could be liable if one of your kids' friends came over and played on the set. So, it depends upon the age, and the different age groups may need different playground equipment, and as well, you want to make sure that they're separated with fences to ensure that playgrounds are safe and fun for everyone, and that you do know who's going to the playground in your backyard and who's not. So the biggest thing is that you want to regularly inspect the surface and playground equipment to make sure nothing is broken, worn, missing, and of course you want to remove, repair, or replace any of these parts immediately. As well, you should be covering the sandboxes when not in use, because a lot of animals can get in wherever and they can use them as a litter box or whatever. And as well, you want to provide some shade in the play space, either natural sources like trees, or as well from a tent or an awning or other shelter. As well, make sure you place any of the metal playground equipment, such as any platforms and slides, in a shaded area to prevent any burns at all. Typically, a slide should face north so it won't receive the direct sunlight. And as well, teach your children to stay away from the front and back of the swing when people do swing, because it's amazing how many children have been either killed or injured seriously by running into either teeter-totters or swings. It's, the kids are playing, they're excited, so you want to make sure that you let your children know. And keep outdoor play equipment at least 6 feet away from pavement, fences, trees, buildings, walkways, and other equipment, because kids tend to think they're Superman and jump off the teeter-totter into a tree, and that's just an injury waiting to happen. As well, make sure that you cover all protruding bolts or screws with plastic safety caps, and close the S-hooks on the swings as well. Make sure there's a plastic covering. And never attach any ropes or cords to any play equipment, and make sure that the items are safely anchored to the ground, either permanently or as far as those screws that you can get down. And when you are purchasing those sets, make sure that they are CSA approved or ULC approved before you do go ahead with the purchases. Most of the stores do have them, but if you're buying something used, you want to make sure that they do meet up to the current standards. As far as the depth of your surface materials, they should be at least 6 inches deep for anything that's less than 4 feet high, and at least 9 inches deep for anything that is 8 feet or higher. So those are important areas that you got to remember. So, I know I've got one in my background, and Matthew's at the point where he's not really using it anymore, but I tell you, we got our money's worth out of it. But we made sure that everything was done right, and touch wood, there were no injuries.
You, at the start of this piece, you mentioned liabilities. Most home insurance will cover us there?
Yes, your home insurance does cover you. I do recommend that you do check with a broker to make sure that the liability does cover you. And it's the same with the trampolines. You want to make sure that they are erected properly, and that you do have the proper surfacing, and that you are away from any pavement, that you are away from any trees, any of those things, because those are just issues waiting to happen.
You can get these tips online at nohassleinsurance.ca, or you can drop into Heritage Insurance and see Greg or any one of the brokers at Heritage Insurance, downtown Moose Jaw. Greg Marcyniuk, Heritage Insurance, on 800 CHAB's Ask the Expert.
This has been Ask the Expert on 800 CHAB.